All right, guys. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. We're happy to come back again another Sunday conversation this weekend, and we just want to just bring a whole topic for you that we're going to discuss cricket. So we're just really so excited to come here today, and I'm not going to do the introduction. I'm going to hand it right over to the main man to give you this exclusive introduction.
Good afternoon, everyone, to all our viewers who are watching from around the world. I just want to say this afternoon, I am so excited, overjoyed, overwhelmed. It's just such a pleasure for me to bring on the platform here Sir Jatin Patel. If you want to know anything about cricket, well, I'm going to tell you, we just have the right person for that tonight. I will not even go into trying to introduce this gentleman based on his awards, his standard, his accomplishment, because I would get in trouble. Because I am telling you, I got a glimpse of his bio, Ian, and his bio blew my mind, I wish we had time to tell the audience how amazing it is, when you have such a person that is right here in the USA, but from another country, continent. He'll tell you more about it, but I know he's from India. But to bring his wealth of knowledge about cricket and what he's been doing for the game of cricket, and not just cricket, but sports in general. But tonight we just choose to pick on cricket because in the USA it's a growing sports. So I will not get into it. I'm gonna have Sir Jatin Patel just give us a little bit who he is. But before we do that, we just want to welcome him to the platform tonight. So, Sir Jatin Patel, we just welcome you to the platform, Ian and Ian, Real Talk. And tonight, it's going to be cricket talk. All right?
Thank you, guys, and good evening, everybody. Just a little bit. I was like barely 9 years old, started playing cricket in the streets, coming from India. So cricket is like blood and religion to us. When I moved to the US way back in 1986, and I landed in state of Indiana, it's very hard to find cricket. I had to go either Chicago or New York places to play cricket. So I turned into a soccer because soccer was the only game used to played here instead of cricket. So then my kids started playing together the soccer. So that's why I ended up with this soccer coaching first, and then went on to it. I played most of the major leagues and those things here in US until 2002, and then I retired from all sort of playing cricket because of my knee issue, and then I stayed more focused to giving more my time in soccer coaching at high school level and beyond that, I will say college level too. And then 2008 is the turnaround time came when I was a part of that cricket innovation to introduce the cricket to the schools at no cost to them. There was includes free cricket sets under the USYCA. And by 2012, I was heavily interested to get into the cricket coaching. I had a little bit experience from 80s while working with legends about drills and practices and those sort of things, but never had a technical insight or skill insight on the cricket side. But the love of the game and the way I had played all my life, I thought it's interesting to get into. And eventually I get into baseball too, because what I see in a T20 nowadays, it's all requires, I call it the simplest way. You must have fitness from soccer and skills from baseball, and that's how the T20 are. So I reach almost all education level possible here in US, soccer, baseball, and cricket. It's just my love of learning, I call it, and hobby to know insight as much as I can do that. And in the meantime, I've been part of the ACF, which is American Cricket Federation, the first ever USA's only coaching program to train coaches, and I had opportunity to lead that program. So the people call it like a pioneer or brainchild. But in fact, I wanted to help as many as people out here in US to promote this game. I only visual carry even today is educate Americans for cricket so they can try to play cricket. Beyond that, I have a lot of things I have done in my life, but it's not for the collecting or getting souvenirs. It's all about my first attitude is help the people in sport, and everything else it comes to its place. And recently, I was like nominated by the Cricket Hall of Fame for the same reason because in last 6 years I have trained more cricket coaches than any board in the world. I will say that includes thousands of P teachers around the country in the different schools. I also train almost 300 plus level 2 coaches for the community and after school programs, and then also level ones. So it's an ongoing process. And very recently, because of the COVID, I'm involved with the two big companies in India, OnTech Sports and Crick Heroes. And we join our hands and launch the global initiative about educating people for the coaching and umpiring. The initial courses are absolutely no cost to anybody because our goal is to promote the game and help the people. And so on. I'm recently also selected by the board to be part of the USA Cricket Development Committee. Most likely, they are interested in my specialty or expertise coming from coaching, umpiring, and administration side for the youth cricket development. And I'll look forward to those opportunities to see where we can take this country to the next level.
All right, sound good, sound good. Excellent, excellent. So I just want to touch base with you just to get some more information. So I'm in North Carolina. Is any form of cricket organization? I would like to know where to start if I'm trying to, trying to get into some cricket down here because I know that obviously. How does the cricket work with the warmer states and the colder states?
What city you are in North Carolina when you say?
Yeah, I'm in the Raleigh Durham area.
You are in a perfect place, brother. The Triangle State area is a leading force right now. The Morrisville has a great cricket ground there, and there is a huge community following that cricket. And I call it my elder brothers. Alvin Kalicharan is there, Raleigh Durham base, and he does
Yeah.
coaching every day or every weekend. I will say, if you go to the Friends Pavilion or looking that triangular league, he is a part of it, and the cricket is going. And I'm not sure how much you know, but that Triangle League also has the minor team now. I believe they announced yesterday the squad. So that is expecting that the bigger level of games are coming to that area. Absolutely, it's still not that much cricket out there as far as the playing opportunity is concerned, unless you are in southern Florida or Texas or California, because the rest of the states in US has to face off these weather challenges because we are like almost 4 to 5 months in a real cold weather or snow. So you
Yeah.
can take the half of the United States, the northern part, I will say, don't do nothing in winter besides doing indoors. So it's only summer is the cricket. Unless you are in Miami or let's say Houston or Los Angeles, then you can play year around. But even though those states don't have that many activities, they usually do a couple of tournaments. One in summer, they call it the summer league. Another one is like a winter league. So you maybe expect, I will say, about 14 to 20 games a year. That's the maximum load you can expect in US.
Okay. And my second question, before I turn it over back to the expert, um, so the minor league. Can you tell me a little bit about the minor league? I realized that they're doing another league and there's some drafting going on. How does that process work? And how many teams going to be involved in the minor leagues?
Well, tell you, I don't have insight. I will have the same information what you read, but I can tell you what I read so far. They are trying to establish 22 teams in a minor league. The way I read, it doesn't look like this corona allows us any competitive cricket. So I think they are trying to do is form these teams this year and do the intra-squad competition, or maybe just local competition, like some of the area like Chicago, Atlanta, I believe San Francisco. Now these cities has like multiple teams. New Jersey, they have like three teams. So what that means is I think they are trying to avoid long distance travel and play some exhibition style game for the promotion, I will say. So where they get used to about the competition, know the game, what's coming up next year, that sort of thing. Draft, as I said, I'm not much on the side. I did not see, or they did not disclose who the players are registered or who the players wants to be part of the draft, and I have no clue how they picked up the team. But I believe, as I hear this morning, some of the teams already had decided they are putting their rosters on the side. So to me, I will say they are, I think, preparing for the next year, the real action. But right now, it's all about planning and groundwork.
Okay, okay, excellent, excellent. All right, so we'll be following that minor league. I mean, I know it's always draft. I'm seeing that they have first round, and I'm seeing that over 36 players was drafted. So it's really interesting to hear some of those players where they're from, and some information. So we get back to that another time once we get more information since it's new.
That's fine.
All right, Sir Jatin, I just want to say that I am pleased, to see what you're doing for cricket here in the United States. As I would have known, being a player, I would have known the challenges in terms of cricket. Even when I just got here, even though I'm in South Florida, it took me probably about 5 to 6 months to really find cricket. You know, it took me a while, and I'm really in the Sunshine State. You know, I came from Jamaica. There's a lot of cricket, and I came here, man. America was bored without cricket, without me finding cricket. But I actually find it after a while. But then quickly I realized that nobody even know what the game is. What is cricket? Some people asking me about a board game, and I'm like, what? That's not cricket. So just in a few, probably 2 or 3 minutes, how would you explain cricket to somebody who has no clue about it? Because we cannot go to sports of cricket, but most of the parents, they have no clue to even get their kids involved in cricket. So in just a few words, how would you explain to somebody who has no knowledge of cricket what the game of cricket is? And then I want you to just elaborate on how do we, even though I know what you are doing.
Well, it's very simple. The first thing you have to avoid or eliminate is do not try to explain cricket. That's very confusing. Okay. I've seen people saying that I can explain cricket in 15 minutes. And then I hear a lot of legends telling me, even you spend 15 months, you're never going to learn the cricket. So I don't know what is the actual time frame to learn the proper cricket. But the one thing I find out while working with this soccer coaching and baseball here in US, also I was a part of a volleyball officials. So I used to do a lot of high school games. And what I can say is the best way to approach them is simplify the game. That's what I have done. It's all about give them bat and ball and let them hit the ball and have the feeling. Then you tell them this is cricket. The majority of the people born with the baseball knowledge, I call it. The family has baseball and basketball and football as a tradition. Okay. So once they start, I usually tell them not about how to play defense and how to play shots. I usually tell them there's only way to strike the ball. One is we call it a golf way, which is we talking if the ball is bouncing from the ground, we are hitting golf way, which is a straight bat. And the another way is a cross bat. Anything short pitch, half volley, full toss, what we do, we swing at it. So I usually tell them, have a bat and ball and try to hit it. And we do the same thing like a baseball. We are hitting the ball with the flat bat to score runs. So the good thing is there is no way to explain the entire game to anybody. Don't do that.
Great.
One step at a time. Are they able to play with this bat and ball? I usually look at like small kids at the elementary level to see if they put the ball on the ground, are they able to hit with the bat? That's the biggest thing we want to achieve first. Once they do that, then you can say, okay, here is I'm tossing the ball to you. Can you hit? Then you take it to the next level. Say, okay, I'm going to give you one bounce to you. Can you hit it? It's not happening because the people who are coming from, I will say, Caribbean or South Asia, we are jumping impatience, I call it. We don't have patience. We just want to introduce them. We just want to tell them what is the game is. And when we don't see, I seen like lots of people doing same mistake over and over. They are just reaching out there, the kids, and telling them how to hold the bat and how to play. So now instead of teaching them, we are trying to demonstrate and telling them, hey, here is how you do. It's all about young kids. Let them play, let them try. It's a slow process, and that is the reason there is an entry-level program we just put together with this Indian company. It's called an entry-level program. It's about half hour where we are telling what is the simplest way to put this bat and ball to somebody's hand who never exposed to cricket. I'll send you guys the links to you. It is
Great.
basically we got the really good support in India. This guy named gentleman Charu Sharma, 30 plus years of experience at the commentary box for the India and other sport, and he gave us his voice to make this global program. It's just question and answer based, and it's 100% developed for the people who are never exposed to cricket or don't know anything about cricket.
Wow, wow. I really love that. Just as you explained that. And I think that's the best way I've ever heard it explained. Because really, it's the hardest thing to try and tell somebody about the game of cricket. So as you say, a bat and a ball, get them to start hitting the ball. And as we speak here, I just want say a big welcome to Ifran Hassan, that's been on here. And the reason I really appreciate this gentleman in that I've watched him since I've been in South Florida. I came here when his child would be a little baby. But I've watched this young man really spend the time with his son, bring him through. And now I'm looking at Adam, and Adam is one of the best youngster I've seen around. In terms of his bowling, even this action bowling from the back of the arm there. I watched him up to last week, Sunday. They actually won a competition with Mac. As you can see in the background, I borrowed Mac cricket field to put that there. Really bring forth what the game of cricket is. That's how much I'm passionate about it. But for the youngsters here, I think you're doing a great thing to start it right there. Just for them to start with the basic, the bat and the ball.
And not only that, beyond that, I will say the most important part in coaching, which I learned from the US coach, is coach's job is to help the players. What that means is help the players, whether they are learning, practicing, or fine tuning, or trying to become professional, whatever the help they need, that is the only thing you have to focus. Where majority of the people not taking that route, they are taking their own route, their own expectation. I want to show them, and they're supposed to do this way, and they're supposed to be ready to go because I explained to them. No, it doesn't work that way. And the whole educational, we call it the scholastic program I developed for the P teachers way back in 2012. It was primarily based on two things. The first thing, when I involved with like 400 plus P teachers here in Indiana, I blend them with the cricket. Then my first question was, can you tell me how you will understand this game? And that is exactly the way I want to teach you the cricket. Now, once I do that, I ask them the second question. Once you understand this game, how you deliver or teach the next generation or new kids? Now, the answer to this question is the perfect solution to introduce the game in school. We have to keep in mind you cannot sell something the people don't want to buy.
That is so
Otherwise,
true.
this product will not work. So this is what exactly my approach is. I even developed the college program for 12 weeks at the university level, and that is was also based on the same concept. I asked the professor what it will take for you to understand this game first, so you can explain to those future few teachers who are taking the physical education as a major or studying as an undergraduate student with the sports management as a future. So the bottom line is a very simple. We don't need to open our books. We don't need to explain them what we know or how much knowledge we care. It's all about how we can help them to start going with the cricket or learning cricket.
Great, great.
All right, so excellent, excellent. So now that we're talking about the game of cricket, one question, and this is might be for you. While you was playing cricket back in the days, what was important while playing the game? What you find that was most important to you?
Well, in India, there's only game you can play, I can say. As soon as you walk out from your house, everyone is playing this one game. That's it. So now we are talking this 1.4 billion people population, and everyone is playing cricket. So even I was growing up at the age of the 12 when I started playing at the state level. I was competing more than 1,000 kids, I would say, to make the team.
Wow.
So that incite you to be top 11, because if you don't get top 11, you will not be in a team. It's not about getting into the selection. You want to play. So every time you go out in the street or at the regular practice or a weekend game or something, you got to have the great amount of desire from inside to do well, I call it. And then you put your dedication work behind it and work hard to learn the game. And the top of that, when the game comes, I will say compete with the highest level you can. Because once you start performing, that's only way the people can see you what you're doing it, whether it's a selector or those big major league guys. Like I had opportunity to play the league game at the age of the 12. I don't have the bowling opportunity. I was the 11th male. Like they were short-handed two players, so I got in to play. But at least I got the opportunity to play at the fine leg as a fielder to collect the balls if the keeper doesn't collect. But then you got the opportunity. One high sky, I call a skying catch came to my place, and I was able to grab it. Now that turned the table. Everyone was looking at me. Hey, this is a little kid. How the hell he can hold this ball? So now they are a bit to give me the more chances. They started me giving the more opportunities to play with them, right? And then it's we got to have. I call the motivation, the self motivation. You must involve yourself to learn day by day with those senior players. That is the biggest thing. And I mean, this is not a rocket science, I call it. If you look at your West Indies side way back in 70s and 80s, if you talk to those legends, I have worked with so many legends, so I know what it is. They all will tell you same thing. When they then come to the national side or West Indies team, when they go to the locker room, play with the seniors, they want to learn the trade. They want to learn the trade, period. And they're helping each other. And that's how these all people become the great. Because the thing is, I will say, while you are doing best, you still have to keep your head open to learn more and do well. Because there is always room to improve. There is nothing perfect, never gonna stop you. The day you think like I know everything, I'm doing good, that's your full stop. You're not going forward.
I could understand from athletic background, being running in the Olympics and run for professionally for about 15 years. I know what it's like to to respect the game and to just so for you, for a person that play the game, and how would you say it's best to respect the game of cricket? How can we? What would you say? How should I? How could we go about? I used to play cricket when I was younger, like you. Well, not like you, but back in the days, that was the first game that I was introduced to. Now, over a period of time, I started playing soccer, football, and then I start running. Eventually, it was too much for me to handle three sports all at once. So, I look on I look what's going on in my school, and I seen where the biggest opportunity and what I want to be in life. One of my goal was to go to college and to study. So I see an opportunity. One of my motivation when I was in school was to get a track scholarship to come to America to further my studies. So I noticed there was a lot of athletes departing from my high school at leaving on scholarship for track. Now, I know there was opportunity in cricket, but at the time, a lot more opportunities are local than international in Jamaica. So I want to say to you, how can we respect the game as a past cricketer? Because I just love the game, but I want to figure out how can we respect the game of cricket.
Well, I can tell you the simplest way. It's comes to you.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge is if you want to play with those friends in the street. That's how it begins. We never thought spirit of the game or sportsmanship. Let me tell you the frankly. We learned this trade playing with the friends. So first thing first, the friendship comes. We respect each other. We trust each other. We are honest with each other, and we do the teamwork when we're playing with the other street or something like that. And that's the early beginning. And then it's to me the way I grown up is working together. It's never think like I'm too good or other guys are not good. We back up each other. So it was like a bonding which brings us to stay together. And by doing so, we respect the older players and we also mentor the young players at the same time. And what it's happened is because of that environment, you feel like you need to spend more time with this team rather than you spend time somewhere else. And by doing so, you are getting more interested to do well because even within this group, you have competition. Like you have 14 players, only 11 gonna play.
Go to mom.
So even within your good friendship or good bunch of teammates, you always upbeat to do something better and better. And what happens is, if you are in a good team, they will appreciate what you do for them.
Go to mom.
So that's how it's turned to me. As I said, I played with like really early age. I had a like first class cricketer playing with me, and it helped me a lot to understand how we can get used to with this game. That's the first thing. And the number two is like the way I learn. What I can do for the team is more important. It's not about what I can do for myself. And even I think like I want to grab 5 wickets today, but I think the other way. Those 5 wickets must be a good cause to win the team championship or game. If I'm just grabbing 5 wickets and my team doesn't win, it's worth nothing. So that's how you can bring your own motivation and get the inspiration from the lot of seniors or the people around you. Those are the two key factors to instill the love of the game, we call it. And once you establish that, you got to keep doing hard work, learning everything possible out there.
All right, Sir Patel. I don't want to take you too far away before I ask you this question. So, being a kid growing up back in India, I want you to take us back to your favorite childhood memory. All of us would have, one day. For me, I remember playing cricket in the road, I, and just getting a bad bounce that almost knocked me out. So, what would be your favorite childhood memory of the game back in India?
Well, I will say I started playing cricket way back in 1972. Being as a medium pacer, I used to go 26-yard run up and bowl. But all of a sudden, the beauty came. after the 1983 when the India World Cup. And then immediately after that, we had a night cricket going on in Australia very next year. And that established the new craze in India to play a night cricket. So what happened to is I used to bowl running into and bowl as fast as I can. And during the night game, I realized the batsman had a hard time to face my ball. So a couple of my teammates told me, why don't you quit running and do just one step ball? So we were playing with this hard rubber, the hard tennis ball, we call it, not the soft tennis ball, hard tennis ball. And all of a sudden, I see the beauty. Just one step, I was targeting Yorkers. And since then, I believe, like, why the hell I'm running this so much? And then, like, couple of games, I had a big stars come to play to, like, the first class cricketer comes to play just for the fun, right? And we usually compete against, and I realized the success what it taking. So there's like a couple of night games I have in my memory, which it will last until I'm living, I will say. The Yorkers I bowled with just one step, and the people like, whoa, where is the ball? You know? So it's a but going back, reason why I remember those things because what I want to work hard, where I put my all shoulder work and strength and all those fitness and all those is coming into that one step, which is helping to enjoy the game, I will say.
that was funny because I really know it takes a lot of energy.
I can tell you even today, when you look at this Lasith Malinga or this Bumrah, what is their biggest weapon? Yorker balls. Because they are coming at so quick. Batsman has no time to bring that bat from backlift. In today's T20, if you look at the average players, they are lifting the bat above the waist. The backlift is going higher and higher because the batsman intentions are very clear. Every ball, they want to have a swing. So these Yorkers is the really great puzzle. If you are cooking up, if you put right by the toe or right under the bat, batsman is done.
All right, good one. I enjoy that, man, because looking at it, running up, it's a lot of work to get to the wicket, really. But at the end of the day, you're gonna do one thing. So that was funny.
Another thing, tell you what I had puzzled so many places. I played so many T20s way back in 80s back home. Some with the white ball and some with the hard tennis ball. As soon as we go to the new town or new place or new city, and when I mark up bowling, like as soon as the captain gives me the ball, I'm standing next to umpire. I'm not even measuring any steps, The batsman is guessing what the hell is coming now. This guy might be a spinner. So as soon as we go by this one step, and sometimes batsman ask me, is that you going to bowl? So I usually ask the other way, are you ready? Now, looking at this small distance, like barely one step, I will say, which is, I call it the gathering to deliver. That's all I usually do. But hit the Yorker. So what happens here, the most of the inexperienced batsmen usually go high on a backlift because they want to have a swing at me because they feel like one step, this got to be slow ball. I got to get ready. Where my head is spinning the other way. Before you bring the bat down, I want to take care of the business.
That is good. All right. I'm going to quote you on something you said, I think I was scrolling through. I know that you start mentioning T20 cricket, but I see where you have said that T20 cricket have changed the world. What do you mean by this?
Well, the first thing is the skills are gone. You can teach them, the player, like how to play cover drive or how to play hook shot, pull shot, square cut. This classic cricket is completely gone. The T20 is all about how many runs you score over how you score. The original cricket, how you score. Like you watching, let's say, Brian Lara. You watching maybe about 20, 30 overs to see the classic cover drive, right? You don't pick up those cover drive every over. Now T20 is different. Everybody is swinging the bat. So the thing has been changed now. Every ball meant to hit. So now we call it T20. If really somebody is practicing is, if you see the ball, can you hit it? And it's all matters how many you can score. Don't worry where the ball goes or how it goes or how you swing the bat. How much you score is the only importance is left now.
That is so true because as you said, the class of is gone from the game. It's a swing and a hit or a miss. Because really, I watch a few games, and if the guy stay too long at the wicket, just playing normal stroke, caressing the ball, if you bowl a good ball, all of a sudden you get the entire team going crazy. Hey, what you doing? We have batsmen in here who can hit this ball.
Exactly. And you putting dart balls there? Not only that, the other way, the way I coach, I usually tell them, don't play defense. But there's other way to say, instead of defense, telling them, hey, front foot defense is this way or back foot defense this way. Don't teach that. Nowadays, if you want to have the player to support or like say defense, all I will say, can you stop the ball without getting out? Now, my purpose is solved. What the defense does, same thing. But why you pressure the batsman to play a certain way to defend that ball? As long as he can stop the ball without getting out, hey, we are good.
Good one. That's a good one. Anything there? Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Sir Patel. So we're just gonna touch a little bit about you. I know you are doing a lot of work, but we know that all of that greatness where it came from. So I just want to know a little bit about you. How you go about some of your favorite memories. So I wanted to ask you, as a player back in playing cricket, what's the highest score you ever recorded being a batsman, if you could remember?
Well, it's the other way around. When I was playing in 70s and as a bowling all-rounder, your job is to support the team. So by the time I go 6, 7, 8, we are talking a 2 days and 4 days game. Okay. So when you have settled batsmen, your job is to defend the ball. So when I started early age, my playing cricket, my coaches, captain, and players usually tell, defend the ball, make sure the ball doesn't go out of carpet. That means you are not popping up silly point or short leg. Make sure you play the right defense where the ball can be in front of you. And how many balls you can defend to give the strike to the other batsman is more important rather than you start hitting also, right? Later on, I did played some ODI level because when I was in college way back in 84, I think it's the one time they introduced and they scratch off the 2-day and 3-day competition from the inter-university. It was just 40-hour game now, ODI format. And in that point, I believe we had a couple of innings. I scored 64, 66 like that. And at the same time, grabbed like 4 to 6 wicket is my average. I start with the fast bowling initially with the good swings, take care of it, depends on the pitch. If I got the turf wicket or matting, I'm good to go. But if I got the concrete slab, then I'm done. You don't expect swing on that one. So it's always on and off, but it's a fun, whatever the level I played. We had a very good performances and the team used to win championship. That's the biggest thing. And the people appreciate what you do when you are coming from a small town and playing against those big guys in big city. It's just a big thing for us,
Okay. All right, Sir Patel. That's always excited. So I'm gonna go on to find out, and I know this year might be a tough, challenging question, and you could answer it the best way you can. But for all the years you've been around cricket, can you tell me your top 3 all-time favorite? You don't have to tell me in any particular order, but your top 3 cricketer that you admire the most.
First is Andy Robert.
Okay.
I seen him in 1974 in India when he visited first time. And I love the way he used to bounce. Okay. Number 2, I will say Sunil Gavaskar back home. Okay. And number 3, I always believe it's somebody who did well in terms of the team management. That's a Clive Lloyd. I believe his leadership. I still follow him, and I always follow the greatness he had to control that team. So it's not when you ask me like who are favorite. I got plenty of favorite. If you ask me by the skills or run scoring machine like Virat Kohli, I love everybody.
Uh,
But there are players are unique in terms of what they have done for the game. I don't know how much you know about it, but I can tell you, Sir Andy Roberts is the big fellow in West Indies cricket. He was not only the first Antiguan bowler to be in a West Indies team, but if you ask every fast legend bowler who came in West Indies team after the Andy Robert made his foot, he mentored them. Behind the screen, this is the guy helped them to become the great players. Now it doesn't happen nowadays. We have plenty of good West Indian or plenty of Indian, but if you look at it, everyone is competitive against each other because they are fighting for their positions. They are competing against, so they will not trade what they know or they are do better that. What my point, why I like it is two ways. Is not his own greatness, but he helped other people to become the good. That is the most important thing. Clive Lord could have played his own game. Nobody can touch him. When he came out as a young fellow in West Indies, he was a hell of a good left-handed batsman. He was a perfect extra cover fielder. But what he did, he created the system. He helped those 12 to 20 other Caribbean players to become the great players. You had a Gary Sobers before him. You had a Ron Kanhai before him. What happened? I will not say that Gary Sobers or Ron Kanhai bad. No, they were great guys. They were the legends, 100%. But the something, what the Clive Lloyd did beyond his own performances, to bring the nation's team to his own teammates, it's a key. And this, the biggest thing as a coach, why I like it is a simple. Cricket is a team sport. If you don't bring your head to help the team, you worth nothing. You always have to remember the one simple thing. The great player can win one game for you on his performance. But to win the championship, you need a team. So anyone who is working for the team, I will say it takes a lot. Otherwise, we could have plenty of people who could have done the same thing, but never happened. Look at the history.
I really love what you just said there, Jatin, in terms of what you talk. Cricket definitely a team sport. You know, one-manship. It's really a team sport. You know, if you're really gonna take home a championship, you know, you could have one batsman and you could be as good as the world put together. But if they're not operating as a team, he can't bat the whole day at one end. You know, I could retire hurt and he gotta come in with me. So, you know, it's just that team sport. And I really love your knowledge of the game. And because of your knowledge, I wanna say something here. You know, seems like a lot of people wanna take some of that knowledge, you know, because recently I've looked even some of the greats. You talk about the greats there and passing on the legacy, coaching the others. So I see in two of your photos, one with Courtney Ambrose and Courtney Walsh, and they're taking a touch at the brain, you know. You gotta watch these guys, you know. Could you just share something about? Because I think that's the best West Indies I've seen the last of their fast bowling, really with cricket head. Put it that way. I'm a bowler, but I think that was the last of West Indies. Courtney Ambrose and Courtney Walsh, really that team together. Could you tell us a little about those guys, you know, since we're right there? Because I see them trying to get a little of the knowledge right there from you, you know. I look at the photo because I'm 6'7". I just imagine myself standing beside you.
Well, first thing it start with the Sir Curtly Ambrose. I call it Sir Amby. I met him face to face first time when I was visiting San John, Antigua, way back in, I believe, 2013. and there was not much cricket going on. So I call up my buddy Kenny Benjamin first, and I asked him, "What are the chances to meet this legend?" And I was fortunate. I respect Sir Andy Roberts and Curtly Ambrose both. They come to me see me rather than I have to find them on that island.
Wow.
And I'm a very just you may say it's a coincidence, but Andy Roberts, Courtney Ambrose, and Courtney Walls were not coaches until I meet them. And after that, the things have changed. Like Courtney Ambrose become a bowling coach for the West Indies in Australia World Cup. Courtney Walls become a Bangladesh team coach, and Sir Andy Roberts coached the CPL game. I do not like to take credit, but I can tell you the insight, what I like in those legends. They spend good amount of time with me personally. My intention was to learn something from them, and they explained to me. Like one of them, you might have seen the Facebook picture. Andy Roberts sir had shown me on the beach what was his grip and what was his to be the bowling. My question was, even I was a young, like barely 13-year-old kid when I'm watching him in Bombay, I see the master has a one skill. I don't think any fast bowler can do it today. He can bowl on the same spot, same style, same speed, but the first one to tease you, second one to take you out. I don't think we have that kind of skills in this world.
Mm-mm.
Ambrose, it's another beauty, man. It's his height. His height. I was barely at his like waist, I will say. But the one thing I learned from that legend is how he made this international world on his feet when he started playing cricket without any coaches. Coming out of that countryside, small town, I went to his town too to visit his neighborhood and his childhood area. I was fascinating how these legends are coming from, what living standard or what environment they have, something like that. And what I feel is this person's self-interest, we call it, desire to play at the highest level and asking for the help whenever they can. Like everyone knows, when Ambrose got into the Antigua side, it was like a raw baller, we call it. He's not a technical, skillful baller. But after that, the transformation started, and then he got a lot of help from the West Indian legends and other ballers. And by the time he paired up with his good friend Courtney Walsh, I will say, this pair was the disaster for the many years, I will say. These two can knock it out any team, doesn't matter on scores. Walsh was here in Indianapolis during the ICC combines. He was a head coach and the tryout for the selection matter. He was the one. And I hang out a lot with him, not just work with him at the grounds. Beyond that, we had a lot of chat going on and it's like interaction, where my goal is always to get something out of these legends. They have something special. But the one thing I will definitely say on a walls, the biggest thing I like when I did the introduction speech to audience here in Indianapolis, I told everybody how his career started. In very first test match when Courtney Walsh got into the test cricket, he wasn't the first opening bowler. He wasn't number two. He wasn't number three. He wasn't number four. But even though when he got the opportunity, he rocked those 5 wickets. So as soon as he got this opportunity, he sealed his spot. He put the stamp on the team. Hey, this spot belongs to me. I'm capable to do this thing, whether I have opening bowling or not. And from that day, I don't think Courtney Walsh has ever looked back until he retired. This man has performed. He has even took the West Indies leadership for a while. And don't forget, Courtney Walsh was the first ever bowler to grab 500 wickets. I can tell you one thing. When Courtney Walsh took 500 wicket, West Indies was in a great shape and form to break almost every bowling record out there. But it's very unfortunate, I call it, where these legends are going away after like Marshall, Holding, Garner, Roberts all gone, and then we see these Ambrose and Walls gone, and since then we don't see any fast bowler coming in West Indies to play with the consistent performance for let's say about 5, 10 years. It's not happening,
Mm-mm.
and that is the downfall. The one time it was a glory, West Indies was the top of the world in terms of the batting and bowling, is not helping. So it's to me, I have like tell you frankly, I meet like almost every West Indies bowling legend because I love that part, and I was very fortunate. Trust me, I never chase any legend to meet. It's always something happens by coincidence, and lately because of the coaching, I'm getting with them, and it just transfers me to gain some more knowledge, learn from them, to understand them, how and why they become those level of legends. And then I feel the other way. Wish I could have the same support when I was 12 or 15. So now that time is gone for me, but I have another time. If I learn something, why don't I pass that knowledge to others so the next generation people can take advantage? And that is what I'm doing on coaching, passing the knowledge.
And with you saying that there, I just gotta look back because with what you said, you wanted something from them. Basically, everyone you meet, you extract something from that person, their greatness, because you want to share it with somebody else. And as I watch in the comment to the side here, I see Hassan. He's now talking about the level two coaching that you gave him. He got his certification. And what I'm saying, say for somebody like me, I love the cricket. My playing days are numbered. So I really just play if they need somebody to fill a spot. So say for somebody like me, love the game and want to give back to the game of cricket. I really like all areas in terms of cricket. In terms of level two coaching, I definitely want to be a part of it. Could you just share with the audience how do we go about doing that, getting on, with you to be a part of this, and so we can basically get from you some of your knowledge that you have gained over the years and be able to pass it on to the future generation.
Well, the first rule is a very simple. Everyone has to understand as a human being, we're going to leave this planet one day, period. We don't know what time it is. But whenever we live, there's only two choices we have. We call it give it or leave it. Whether it's your knowledge, property, anything belong to you, you have only two choices, give it or leave it. I prefer the first way. Whatever I have, why don't I give it to the others? Help them so they can help others. And that is how I started this coaching stuff. And I don't carry the book. Irfan will tell you. I don't have it. Don't even ask me. I just go by there and I look into the coach's face, what they want to learn to become a coach. And that's what I only coach. It's a more about training them and mentoring them so they can have a confidence to go for the coaching. It doesn't matter it's entry level or the higher level. The number two, I don't buy these certificates or levels or something. It has nothing to do with it. Trust me. It's all about how much knowledge you collect or carry. That's more important. Number two, based on your experience and expertise, how you can execute your knowledge is more important. So that is what I usually tell the coaches. The first thing is to simplify the process. Don't get complicated. Keep it super simple, we call it. Number two, understand the game first before you teach somebody. You don't want to go out there and coach somebody when you are already in a confused status or state. Make sure you are clear. and confident to go for it. And I was lucky. I was doing something in Tampa Cricket League. They invited me last January for coaching. And I know Irfan Bhai is following me for a long time. So I just shoot the email to him like, hey, you want to come out for coaching? So that's what he and Adams came down there for the weekend. And it was a win-win for us. We not just meet first time face to face. The Adam was on the field. So I use him for a lot of my skill sets. So I can not just analyze him, but I can help him to improve. And it was a good thing for him to understand this game more. That was this all about. And what I believe is like we have a lot of parents like Irfan Bhai who has played the game and want to see the next generation do well. But unfortunately, knowledge is not coming. Not the easiest way, I would say, or not everyone has access to it. And that is the what opportunity I like to give everyone. I usually do just weekends only because of my full-time job and other soccer commitments. But whenever I free, I usually go there. And anyone, if you ask them, they'll tell you, I do not carry watch. Once I'm on the field, I want to make sure that my coaches are happy until they got all knowledge they need to go home. I don't want to bore them what I know. It's all about what they want to know.
All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, guys, we're getting some continuous education tonight in cricket. We got this forum, and we're just so happy for all the viewers and all the other viewers that are gonna be watching in the next couple of days and a couple of weeks and couple of months. So one thing that I wanted to find out in regarding to United States, we want to talk about them a little bit in terms of cricket. I'm looking at the last ranking and I'm seeing England, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and Pakistan. That's the top 5. We're looking at West Indies, number 9, and then we're looking at the USA right up in 15. Can you explain what's the progress for a person like me that follow cricket on and off? The position for the USA right now, they're 15 ranked. Is that something that they should be proud of in terms of the ranking, or they're moving in the right direction, or what they would need to do to improve?
It's a little bit complicated because I'm still on the development board committee, and I was the interim selector until February. And if you look at the records in 2019 December, we were at the top in that division 2, top of even Scotland when we beat them. The things are a little bit different here in the US because our players not have that many opportunities to play regular basis, we call it. Number 2, what I see is a lot of players don't have the momentum they need in terms of, let's say, either bowling or batting. These international games are played on kookaburra balls. Now our batsmen or bowler coming from these regular league practices or batting cages or these indoor practices or something, and all of a sudden you got this kookaburra ball. It's a huge adjustment. It is all about, we call it discomfort. Like if you're wearing the loose pant or tight pant, it creates the discomfort for you. Period. That's how it begins. So it's not a rocket science, we call it. There is no overnight solution, we call it. We have lots of potential players in US. I will not say that, okay? But the thing is, the biggest thing is players have to lift the standard in terms of performance. If you start performing at a consistent level, then we can definitely achieve the higher level. I'm not sure how long you follow in US cricket, but this is the highest level we have been in 50 plus years. Since 65 we playing. We only had a one opportunity as a men's team to play in a Champions Trophy, only one time. Okay, and under 19, we've been to the two World Cup, I believe 2006 and 2010. But other than that, we never had achieved this level. We qualified for the ODI by going into the Division Two. That was happened in last 2 years. That's another achievement that we are qualified to play the 50-over game. And the number two is a T20 status, which just came out as the ICC's new policy when they give opportunity to 104 countries to play T20. But even that, the good thing is about it, we are playing in Division Two. So it's a matter of
Bring the pen
how
down.
we can override this Division Two situation
Go
and
for
get
right.
into the full nation, which is the top 50. So things are there, I will say, is as I said, I'm not much in a position to tell you a lot of things, but I would say
1 minute,
the
guys.
plans are there. The good things are happening. One of them is this minor league and major league, which will give us the opportunity to see more players can have more competitive games. And if we build from there based on the performing players, I think we'll be in a good shape. We'll be in good shape because we already did all hard work to get here. So the two challenges we have is to maintain your status to stay at this level and keep hunting to go up. You don't want to lose this status. That's the first thing. And number two, find a way to improve. I will say every individual player, I don't care what level they are playing, only say keep trying to improve yourself and we all will be good.
Okay, excellent, excellent.
So giving
You
your
know,
side is basically start knocking some runs if you are a batsman. If you are a bowler, make sure. This is the thing is, in today's world, is not about your skills and techniques. It's all about performances. They are looking at number. Okay, no doubt, the selector gonna look for your skill set and tactics you carry to see how potential you are. But to get there, you got to have some performance, and that's only way you can get into the call-up side. We call it tryouts, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, that's excellent to get that information regarding that how much improvement the USA have made in cricket, and and just to know that I thought that the West Indies would have been in the top five, but as I said, I am inconsistent cricket follower, and I'm getting back into the game. It just just too many stuff going on. I'm obviously I'm into the Olympics. The Olympics was canceled this year, and I know I touched base with you, but I just want to ask you this question that we talked about briefly. How close is the cricket? How close it is for cricket being in the Olympics? Any prediction?
There's a few things are complicated, so not sure how the cricket will be entered into the Olympics. The first hurdle is the Olympics are played almost everywhere in the world. I'm talking the place, weather-wise. They have the Winter Olympics in the snow countries. Summer Olympics is somewhere where they have the heat. But a lot of countries, if you look at the whatever the cities that had hold the Olympics, there are not many cities where you can find four good cricket ground. I would say that's your biggest challenge because Olympic is not a month-long tournament. If you look at it, especially soccer or these big games like a baseball, their competition ends like every other day or something. And sometimes you have morning games on this ground and you have evening games in a ground B, something like that. So the first hurdle with the Olympic will be the facilities. Which cities you want to go? Like if you're going, let's say, Brazil, how are you going to build the cricket stadiums there to play? It cannot
I
be
thought
played in.
I thought the cricket field could be in the middle of the soccer field.
It's not, but they are trying to do with the drop in pitch. Then you got another hurdle. If you say it's a good idea, let's say you put a drop in pitch in a cricket, and if you guys playing 50 over game all day, where the soccer game gonna play?
Well, obviously, it would have to be one day cricket, limited overs.
It doesn't matter. Cricket need his own field because the way the Olympic are, I have not seen they use as a multi-sport as a ground. Like last few Olympics, I'm watching heavily on women's soccer, and I will say those grounds are designed for soccer, and they only play soccer. Period. Same thing with lots of other sports. They usually put those facility specific to that particular event or particular sport. They don't compromise with this setup. Like today is a goal post and tomorrow is a rugby. No, it doesn't work that way. So that's a one challenge. Number two challenge is the participation countries. Like you know that even we talk about this cricket as a number two sports in the world, but in reality, if you look at the Olympic medal tally, we call it number of medals won. Look at the countries: USA, China, Russia. They don't play cricket. So that's another hurdle. Number three, this most of the Olympic sport, it's I call it the governing and organizing way is a different than the what cricket is doing under ICC. Period.
Okay.
Like for example, I'm coming from US soccer, so I can explain to you what it means. Let's say FIFA World Cup is coming. Then the governing body, US soccer itself, is involved to put together our best team possible to send to the FIFA. But when the Olympic sports comes and we have the soccer competition, the US soccer will work with the US Olympic Committee to send the best possible team out there. So you getting the whole
No, no,
concept,
no, no, I mean,
how they're handling situation. I can tell you the majority of the time we have the same soccer team in last 23 years. The way I follow as a coach, I haven't seen much difference between the Olympic team and the FIFA team. But there is a two organization is work side by side to send the national team for a different reason, right? So this basically I will say is not impossible, but it's a tough than what we think. And I think ICCs lately are a bit to go to the Olympics. They are negotiating, they are talking to be part of the game. And as I said at the beginning of this show, the 2028 Olympic in Los Angeles may be the first Olympic where we can see cricket. Because
okay.
Los Angeles area has I think 5 grounds already. And they can build a couple of grounds by that time. We are looking 8 years. So hopefully, if they can come out with the 4 cricket grounds, I think it can fit in Olympic.
Well, I know typically organization they get like 4 years to prepare, in terms of the facility,
Yes.
and a lot of time all of this stuff is rebuilt. The structure of the Olympics facilities always rebuilt, from pretty much from scratch. So I mean, and I believe if it's on the table, I mean, the facility have to accommodate it. I mean, they just have to. That's part of the bidding process to accommodate all sports, and it's a constant negotiation. I mean, we've been to Olympics where, like in Athens, where it was so hot that the runners were affected by the heat, and they have to run at night, and there's a lot of different adjustment they got to make. I was in Doha, Qatar, again, where the temperature was over 120,
Yep.
where
Hydration part. So that's a one most complicated thing when we talk about these facilities. No doubt, normally you have like 5 to 6 years ahead of time where the Olympic decides where will Olympic will be played. So the local people have enough time to build those facilities. That is what the hope we have. If we can get the U.S. Olympic in Los Angeles, I will say in 2028, it should be the big boost for cricket because cricket is not a part of the Olympic. I believe they tried one time but did not succeed. But
Okay.
this time looks like it can be the great opportunity to bring this sport with the many other sports in the world because Olympic covers almost all major sports except few limited sports like American football or rugby type of game. But I think there's a strong chances. So let's hope for it. What happens next is the key, and it's all on administration. I will say it's not about players. I don't think any player will say that I don't want to play Olympic or I don't want to play World Cup like that. It always happens with these governing bodies and way they administer these games.
I, I know back in the NBA when they first started out, they usually send younger players,
Yep.
college players.
Well,
You know,
I know what you're talking. It was I think 87 or something,
yeah,
where the USA used to send the college players only, NCAA. They never
yeah,
touched these professional players until Russia put their couple of professional players into the team to beat the USA. In the next Olympic, the US Olympic Committee and this NBA all figure out what to do next. And that was the one of the best team was on the floor. We call it dream team. You
yeah,
name it.
yeah.
Magic Johnson, Jordan, Larry Bird, Barkley, Carl, everyone was there, I will say. One of the best team you can find on the floor.
Yeah.
So US give the answers. If you really care about patriotic thing, if you allow us to bring any player we want, we have it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yep, yeah, that was a good move. And I said, starting out with the first dream team. So I mean, I would hope that in cricket they will realize that it's representing your country and getting a medal at the highest level. So hopefully we could get some. It's a lot of factors. As I said, it's gonna be a challenge, and sometimes the Olympics drop sports. They drop things out the Olympics because it just didn't work out.
I mean, like you have to look at the other way. Olympic is the old body. Look at the how many years they exist compared to our World Cups, which is started in 1975 in terms of the ODI. If you look at T20, we started in like 2007 or 8, something like that. So compared to that, this Olympic is a really old tradition. So playing Olympic is all about the honor and the respect you get to play for the country. It's not about money.
Yeah, yeah. You hit it right there. So I got one more question before I turn over. We want to bring it back a little bit towards you. I know you've been doing a lot of work, and I know that you was recognized a presidential award. You was given a presidential award from I believe it's from the USA Cricket Association
No, it's a
this
Cricket
year.
Hall of Fame. USA Cricket
Okay.
Hall of Fame.
Can you explain that to us a little bit? How honored were you feel to be recognized with even some of the other Hall of Famers that was also nominated and the Cricket Hall of Fame. Tell us about the Cricket Hall of Fame and your presidential award.
I would say first is the history. The Cricket Hall of Fame is there since 1981 from Connecticut. I believe it's formed by these Jamaican people, I will say, down there in Connecticut. And since then, it's a tradition. As I said, it was the first Hall of Fame before even ICC put their own Hall of Fame. And over the years, now we are looking at this is the 39th year they're doing this thing to introduce a lot of people as an honor and respect what they do for the game. So it's like they are doing for so many years to appreciate people what they do for the game. That's the biggest thing. It's to me, this is like a honor where they respect people, me, what I do for them, right? And there's such award to me is like a motivation. It inspires me to do more and well, both. And that's how I feel. and being with those a lot of legends, the most of them are usually international cricketers who has played at the highest level for so many years and hold so many records too. But being part of that gallery, I call it, in that lineup, even you are in a line, I don't care whether I'm last one, you got to be feel proud of which line you're standing, rather than you wait and watch somebody else line, right?
All right, Jatin. So, as I said, I could not have given an introduction for you this afternoon because you have accomplished so much over your years. You have given back so much to community, to the USA, in terms of your knowledge that you have imparted onto people, But, it is good that they have recognized you for your accomplishment, So you're telling us about coaching soccer and all that stuff. So what I want to ask you, of all the awards that you have collected so far, which is your most prized award or treasured? You could give us two of them if you don't mind.
No,
You
no,
know,
I'm still working and learning to get the bigger award. How about that?
yeah, okay, okay. We would like to know what that
See,
one is.
in the sport, your resume and profile worth nothing. What you have done over the years or what you're doing is not important. Rather than you prove it, what you are able to do today. And if you are trying to play for the team, they look for the potential, how capable you are or how potential you are to produce something. So in that regards, I will not say any difference between whatever the awards I have in my life, whether it's a man of the match, best bowler, or trophy championship, this, that, cricket Hall of Fame, all awards to me, I count as a highest honor. It's coming because you have done something. So you don't want to differentiate which one is good and bad. I will not do it. But I always say, I'm not done. And those are not enough either. I have more room to grab, and I'll keep continue to work for that. And on top of that, I did not go with the expectation. Let me tell you the frankly. I love to do what I like to do, and I will keep continue doing it. And let the things come by itself, rather than you go with the expectation.
I want to say about you, and this is the thing I love about you too. You're a man of great wisdom, and that is vital and critical for me. When I take on to someone, it is all about their personality, who they are as a person. And talking to you, just seeing what you do, you don't showcase yourself. And I knew that answer would be something close to that, based on who you are as a person, as an individual, as you see yourself, as a person who's able to impact and impart onto others, and you have not shunned from that. You see that as a responsibility of yours to really give back, motivate, uplift. I can see you're a team personnel. So I want to ask you a question here, because you're able to give so much to others, motivate, uplift them, inspire them. I just ask this question: where do Jatin Patel go for his motivation?
Well, it's coming from inside. You know how you believe yourself, right? Believing yourself and believing in your own capability is the biggest thing. To me, I'm never happy until I help the others. That's how I feel. I can do anything for me. It's not big deal. Everyone is doing it. But when you do for somebody, and if it is really helping, and when this other person tells you that your help was beneficial to him, that's a great achievement. You want to have it. And that is the reason I will say it's not about expectation. It's all about how much we can help others. That's a big thing.
I love it. All right, now I may have to switch this away from the cricket for a little bit because I know we'll be wrapping up pretty soon. We have taken so much of your time, and it is late, but we still want to wish you happy birthday. I was surprised, and I'm like, man, how did I manage to get this gentleman on his birthday?
Yeah. yeah,
behind this.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
it's just
That,
that today we were really, early in the morning, I was kind of putting together a collage of photos of the things that we had done. And with that, I realized somebody just posted happy birthday. I'm like, wow. How did,
yeah, 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 yeah.
how did this
Well,
happen?
here's the deal: is I wake up at 6 o'clock today, and I did the first webinar for India, 6:30 to 8:45 our time, US. It was a global webinar on fast bowling, so I was part of it. And then I took a little bit break in afternoon, and then evening I did the radio show, which starts at 6 o'clock, 6 to 9, the Cricket USA show, which I regularly attend with a lot of panelists from the West Indies, and we talk same how we help this game to promote and educate people. And when you asked me to come out Sunday, I didn't even notice that my birthday is there. I committed.
Wow.
See, you guys are laughing, but I'm not that stupid either. To
Man.
me, every day is the same. And birthday, you guys give me the opportunity to do something new rather than I just enjoy with my family, which is routine for last 59 years, I will say. But I happy that I'm doing something different on happy birthday. That's a big thing. No doubt
Yeah.
I gain extra year. I gain extra 1 year of expertise, but meeting a lot of people, interacting with them, learning from them, and helping few, it's a big achievement for the day. And that's what I'm used to. It's not about birthday. I usually fill up my entire weekend like that because I love to be in sport, not the guy who sit down in front of TV and have a beer and watch the game. It's not my hobby. So I love to get going, and it's a good thing we have this pandemic going on. So now we are on online, which is a lot easier than I used to run around to the fields and be there all day with the young kids. So thanks for the opportunity. That's a big thing, and never worry about time. I'm always open and ready to help. Don't go by the clock. Clock is doing his job, and we have to do our job. But I'm always there to help the sport. That's what I'm up to.
Yes, man. So happy
Ian,
birthday
you think
from all
you
of
think we
us.
could go ahead and just play this video that we have that
Definitely,
that
we're
we have
gonna
created?
showcase it.
This video is just to showcase some of your work that you've done, and as I said, we just so happy that we was able to spend the last hour and a half with you on your birthday. We know that every day is very special, and we, as I said, we're just happy that we got this opportunity. It's a privilege. So we got a little video that we're going to play that's going to highlight that some of your achievement and work that you have done.
Thank you. coaches then, looks like.
Yeah, we went camping some of them, man.
I like,
Just to
I
see,
love that
you have
picture
come
you put with me,
across.
MB and Walls. When I introduced the Walls, I made an open statement to public because we had a Venkatpati Raju was sitting first in a line when I was introducing from left to right, and Courtney Walls was next to it. So I told the crowd, we have the two great legendary spinners here. So Walls was facing my head. What the hell is this guy doing? Then I told them, I have this one spinner who can spin the ball, the Venkatpati Raju. And I told the crowd, we have another great spinner. As soon as he bowls, the batsman spins. Is that the beauty? You don't spin the ball, you spin the batsman head.
Yeah, the batsman in trouble. Yeah, man, it's just a pleasure to see how many legends you have come across in your lifetime. How many kids you have impacted their life. Because I see you working with all of these greats. From the I say generation across. Because you see the Lara, you know, you see your work with it, Shonda Paul and the kids. But that's the part about it that I love about you, man. You're able to bring your knowledge to the primary school, to the kids just growing up. And I really, really appreciate that about you. I can't say thanks enough. I enjoy even your post on Facebook because there's always something to take away from your post, learning. It's always an opportunity to learn something new. Whether it's you're showcasing something that is happening around the world or just within the circle. And I'm really honored to have gotten the opportunity this afternoon to really, have a little chat with you. It was pleasing. And before you go, I just want you to share if there's anything say to the fans, to the world. You have the opportunity to say it. Not that we are closing, but we are just giving you that time to really just talk to the people.
That's true. Don't limit yourself. Let them make more friends, work with them, know each other, and how the beauty is when you're doing right thing, good thing, the support comes by itself, and that's how I end up with a lot of legends. And the most of them, I still have a personal touch where we keep continuing as a good friend. That's the biggest beauty about this sport cricket is friendship. Even today, I call it. I have plenty of friends from my early childhood who played with me way back in 70s, and even today, we don't have just great memories, but we have the good relation for a lifetime, I will say, and that's the biggest asset you can get in this today's world because there's all social media and the new world is now the friendship comes the other way. Friends come to you not because who you are. They always look for what do you have. Where I believe in the other tradition, where people become the friend because who you are is not what you have. And to do so and keep continue, the friends and the team is a big assets for us in a life too. And that's what I keep continuing. And when I talk to people, the people believe that certain things need to be in a place to be live happily. I will say it's all about happiness. It's not about achieving any goals or meeting your expectation or something. As I said, I love to do what I like to do, and when I achieve that, I feel happy. That's what it's all about.
Excellent, excellent. Well, it was a pleasure for me to to relive some of my cricket. Starting now to check different eras in my brain to get some of that memory. And it was good. I know that there was some stuff in the brain that, as I said, was just in a file that I just needed to get back into. So it was always a pleasure. So just probably this is my second to last question because I said I know we gotta get you some rest because I know you're up from 6 this morning.
I'm okay. Don't worry about it. I barely sleep 4 hours, so I'm okay.
Okay. So I know that I've listened to John Madden on TV. I never get the privilege to meet him. I saw that you have met such a wonderful journalist and a broadcaster. And what was that experience? Were you able to have a conversation with John Madden?
Yes, I met that boss a few years back before his health got disturbed. He was in Indianapolis running this NFL coaches conference, and he was kind of one of the legend with the 60 plus years of coaching. I had an opportunity to meet him, have a picture, and chat with him for a few minutes. And normally is not about asking in detail. As a coach, being involved, I usually know what caliber coach I'm talking to and what I need from them. So I usually go sharp on point in a real sort. And the one thing I learned from that person, like a legend, is help the player what they need. As plain and simple in coaching. Because we don't follow that rule, then we are not achieving anything. Either we are over practicing or we are underestimating player, I call it, or sometimes you're going with the expectation and you'll be disappointed. So John Madden caliber, 60 plus years of coaching, and it's a great guy to hear in a booth, especially when he's calling the games. And you know that the football, every kid in this country has a John Madden football game as a video game to learn from them. So it's
Yeah.
a, as I said, there's a lot of opportunity. I had it. I never went for hunting, like I need to see this guy or I need to grab something. It's just coincidence is coming. And the way I feel like when I get that kind of support, I feel like, hey, I got this thing without any effort. Why don't I pass to the others? I did not learn from the one guy. I will never say. I learned something from each and every one I have met, each and every legend I have worked with them. And that is the beauty in today's world. We have to pass this knowledge to the others and keep continue doing so.
Okay. Awesome, awesome. Well, I heard I always listen to John Madden. I read that all of his years that going to football games, he traveled by bus.
Yep. Yep.
Never on the plane. So he drive all over the country
Hmm.
in one of those buses. It doesn't matter if it's 36 miles, 50 miles. Every game, you can imagine if you go from California to New York or wherever the game is. So that was something that stick with me from John Madden. And I know you're in Indianapolis, as you have mentioned too. Which is I know that's where the USA Track and Field organization is based. They're the national office. So I've
Well,
been there a couple
we are
times.
the headquarters for the National College. NCAA headquarters is Indianapolis.
Yeah, yeah,
Also, National Federation of High School Sports, also Indianapolis. So these are like a headquarters for the school and college games. And that is the one another thing being involved in those two organizations for last 23 years. I got a lot of opportunities with a lot of other sports to learn a lot
yeah.
of things, I will say. Different way, different situation, different incidents, but there's always something out there. And not only that, Indianapolis is the world's largest sporting event. This was just finished today, Indy 500.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that because I noticed you messing around with some speed over there at the Indy 500. And so what was that like to see those? We all see those cars on TV, how fast they are and how they're moving around. You actually get to actually go actually to the car, and just what I know that's part of who you are. These things happen naturally, and we dream for things like that. Sometimes just to be able to experience that thing. So that's always a blessing.
Yes, it's just the speed is a matter. When I came in the late 80s to US, I visited this speedway to see this live race. Few times, I will say, not just one time. It's every time I go there, it was a fun. But the speed wise, you don't see nothing. It's just you are moving your head from left to right. By the time the cars are gone, you can't even see who is in car. Okay? Because these guys are running 200 miles per hour car. What are you gonna see in a millisecond?
Yeah.
But then lately, I'm more fan on TV side, because on the TV you can have lots of good cameras from different angle, and you can see a lot of action which you can see on a field. If you go there, you might be able to see a one corner or one side of the track, not this whole oval thing, right? And that's the beauty about it. But I will say, the speed wise, this is the event you want to watch at least once in a life. The sound, the madness of the crowd, the crazy fans is like almost 1.2 million is not big enough, I will say, but none of the sporting event has that crowd on a single day. This is the largest sporting event in the world, period, in terms of the fan, and it's a big thing. The picture you guys steal it from the Facebook, it was just coincidence. I did not go to the speedway, let me tell you, but I was at this five-star motel. We call it JW Marriott. Any event happens in Indianapolis, the most of the celebrity players and coaches stays there, which is right across my work, and we share the parking lot together. So this car was grounded on the road, and by just coincidence, as I said, when I sit down and took the picture, I didn't even know this car what it is. But then this fellow came out who was trying to load this car into the truck. He says, "Do you know what this car is?" I says, "No, sir." He told me there was a 100th celebration in the car racing, and this car was the fastest qualified car.
Wow.
So I took few more pictures. Then I asked him, "Can I have some more clips?" Because this is like a $1 million moment for you. Car is in front of you, and like you have enough opportunity without any car to have picture. The only the thing the boss did not allow, he says, "You don't fit in this car because of my body size. So there is no way to get into the driver's seat and have picture. But anything else you can do it." I said, "Thank you, sir."
Wow. That was a fun moment there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right. So, as I wrap up here, I want to ask you, because I want to get in that little brain there, man. I see everybody want to get a piece of the brain. So I want to see if I get a piece, and. So I normally ask this question to most of my friends and family, somebody just to know the best piece of advice that they have gotten in life and who gave it to them, because I know advice is very important, the advice that we actually take on that live with us, So could you just highlight a particular personnel who have given you a very good advice that still travel with you through life to this moment?
Well, there's a lot of things comes from the parents and the way you are being grown up. You have a lot of senior relatives who are nurturing you while you're growing up, and there is a lot of good thought process comes from as a training, right? And but to pass something on to the next generation, including our age group, which is I'm talking mine, which is 50 to 70 range, or somebody is 35 and above. If you're trying to raise your kids, I will say the one simple thing: live without expectation, or lower down your expectation, because we are expecting too much from our kids, and that gives them under pressure to do anything, whether it's education, whether it's a sports, or anything we do in a life. The beauty is, if you're living without expectation, then the disappointment follows. But when you don't live without expect, right? So you are happy anyway. Just we got to believe in the hard work our kids do, or whatever they do to achieve something. That's a big thing rather than the outcome. Today's world is all about chasing the outcome, like in terms of the degrees or grades. If they're playing sports, you got to be the top notch talent sport, something like that. No, I go the other way. Leave those expectations behind and look for the effort they are doing it, what they are contributing, what they are willing to do. That is more important.
Thank you for that bit of advice, man. So, with that, I let Ian appear as the final question, and then we let you have a blessed night, man, and
Yeah.
enjoy family.
All right. So this is the big question that I'm gonna leave with you. I know that you've been around a long time and you've been enjoying it, and I know it seems like you're having no time of slowing down. Where do you see yourself and cricket going? Do you see yourself working with this thing another 10, 15 years, or are you just willing to dedicate a limited amount of time? Are you want to bring somebody up that can continue the work that you're doing? Where you see yourself in the next 10 years or so?
Well, as I said, don't live with the expectation first. I don't predict anything, but the love of the game is there, and I contribute my time as long as I have free time. That's how I am, and I'm ready to go for any challenge out there. It's not about doing for 1 year, 10 year, 15 year. I will love to keep continue as long as I am able to, which is the physical side, I call it, right? And the mindset part is a straightforward. I'm a mentor in a mindfulness and the mindset, which is the big thing. And I like to keep continue because the sports is the one of the three main components where everyone enjoys, like a food, music. Sports comes as entertainment too, right? Where everybody get into. It doesn't matter what language they speak or what country they're coming from or what age they carry. It's equal fun for us, and that is what I love to be involved in that because it also brings. I will say when you say food, music, and sports, sports is the only activity which brings lots of opportunity to learn life learning essentials, how to become a good human, how to become a good leader, or how to do manage your life. Those sort of things all coming from the sport, and that is the reason I will love to keep continue. And I don't have any projection or plan, but as long as I can, I'll be there.
All right, excellent. Well, we're gonna pray and that for you to have the health and the strength. I feel like that I'm gonna work as long as I'm able to. I don't have a set amount of years that I want to retire. I enjoy what I'm doing, and I believe it's the same thing for you. Once you enjoy what you're doing, you're gonna do it as long as you can. I mean, until you're not able anymore.
And I mean, you
You
got
know,
to keep continue, never give up. That's the first attitude. And number two is not about falling. It's how many times we rise from fall. That's more important. So I don't count failures. We're gonna have it. We're gonna have tough challenges. We might have some setbacks, but how you can bounce back and get up, that's a key. So I don't count falling. I count how many times I raise my standard. That's all about.
all right, excellent, excellent. Well, we hope to get you one of these days over in Jamaica. Ian could tell you that we have one of the top high school cricket team in Jamaica, St. Elizabeth Technical High School. We produce a lot of the Jamaican national players. That even some of them move on to West Indies. Is from our school, and we have one of the best coach originated out of our high school, Junior Bennett, JB. I don't know if you ever heard of him before, but maybe Ian could tell you a little bit. But I just want to say that look, that would be a great honor for us to get you over in Jamaica to just to see how the cricket is in high school. Just something that again for you personally, I think you would enjoy that experience. For that. So I don't know if Ian could make that happen.
Well, let's wait for this pandemic go
So,
away. First things first, right? I'm not in a travel mood to go anywhere beyond my family
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
But once it is settled down, I'll look into if something is possible. We can. I know Jamaica is not that far from here. I believe it's about 2 hour flight from Miami. I think so. It's not a bad distance to travel for us. But let's see how it goes. This thing first, and then we will look forward to. And if anything I can do, I'll be happy to help you.
All right.
yes, sir. So we really just want to say thank you for your time, to just being here. That meant a lot to us. And I know some of our viewers, they will take away a lot of positive from tonight. And we just want to wish you all the best in your endeavors, and just continue living without any expectation, man, and continue collecting, and add to that. I don't know where you're storing those trophies, or recognition plaque or whatever, but just continue collecting, because you got a lot more to collect. So just be blessed. All right.
Thank you, guys. And we'll definitely catch up again whenever you need me.
All right.
Good night,
All
guys.
right. Thank you. All right.
Good
Thank
night, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Ian. I believe we're still live here on studio. We was happy to again, just go over it, saying that it was a pleasure just to just to inform and to encourage some of our cricket fans. I know that we're in a pandemic right now, and some of the games are more limited, in terms of tournaments and stuff that would have normally happened. But we understand that cricket, you could always work on your game. You could do individual things, and I would advise everybody just to stay sharp. I know that the sports is not organized, but you still could work on your game and stay motivated and have faith that everything is going to be all right. And cricket and all other sports are going to come back. I watched a track meet today, and I saw a gentleman from Norway almost break a world record. He was a tenth of a second off the world record. And I'm thinking to myself, man, people can't train, but this guy was able to train. And one of the things that pops in my head was, because sometimes when you don't have any Olympics or any world championship and you're just going out there to run for fun, and he's running every race like his last race, and I believe the pressure that would have been on him to try to break the record at a big stage, I think he's more relaxed and he's just running for fun. I mean, the guy runs in lane 8, so he just choose the lane that he don't even want to see anybody. So I was inspired by what I seen today. It give a lot of people hope. If I was a runner training for the Olympics next year, I would have started training immediately, because if a guy could come out and almost smash the world record, and this world record has been around since 1992. So it's one of the longest world records. It's actually the 400 hurdles. So that's why I'm actually talking about it, because I follow the event. So we have a guy run 46.8 seconds over the hurdles. You could relate to that, Ian. A lot of guys that run the 400. My personal best in the open 400 is 46.2 seconds. This guy probably would, we'll be fighting across the line. So, just want to say that to all the fans and friends and everyone that might watch this video, that stay encouraged, keep the faith, because without the faith is you're going to lose hope. You can't never let the faith go, regardless of what is seen, because without the faith is dead. So that's my final thoughts.
Yes. I really love the interview. As a man who is basically loaded in terms of knowledge of the sports, and he's imparting his knowledge to the world. He involves so much. As I said in the beginning, I could not have basically highlighted all that he has done, because he have done so much. His records speak for itself. And we just want to thank the fans for viewing and just continue to share with others. So well, your friend may not get to watch this, but just share with them. So we're just gonna wish everyone blessed, week that is ahead of us. A few more minutes, and we're into a new week. We're just gonna wish you all the best going forth. Stay blessed and just stay encouraged. And as Ian said, we're gonna get over this pandemic. So just live your life. And as that gentleman, Mr. Jatin would have said, he's living without any expectation. But guess what? Just live your life and run a good race. All right?
All right.
Blessings.
All right. Peace.